What's going on? I'll be Fitness Gaming, and you've seen the title of the video, you know why you're here. Domain Zoo. So we have some changes here. Not big ones, just small ones. We are playing 2 Tarmogoyfs in the main, and we have moved our 2 Lightning Helixes to the sideboard. So now we have 3 Lightning Helixes in the sideboard. I've seen people start playing, 2 or 3 Tarmogoyfs in the main as an additional threat. It's something that, if you've been watching my channel, I've always talked about, that one of the issues with this deck is that it runs out of threats. So playing more threats is always a good thing, but you also don't want to play too many threats to the point where you don't have any other spells to interact with your opponent. So I think 22 is probably the right number. 20 is not bad. 22 is probably good, but sometimes you want those extra interactive spells. Another card I've been seeing a lot of people starting to mess around with is Burst Lightning. I believe that card is like 1 red, it deals 2, and then it has Overload or one of those things, or Kicker or something where it can deal 4. I can see the reasoning to play that. Again, I play Lightning Helix as an additional removal spell. People are starting to catch on that an additional removal spell in the deck, especially a burn spell, is a good choice. I can see why you would want to play Burst Lightning over something like Lightning Helix, depending on your mana base. Our mana base can cast Lightning Helix very easy. Those that play Burst Lightning, some of them play Dromoka's Command in the main, so you have to play the Zagoth and the Sylvia Triome, which with those Triomes, you can't cast Lightning Helix, it's hard. So I can see why you would want to play Burst Lightning as an additional removal spell, because it's good early on and then it's even better in the late game. But I personally like Lightning Helix. I've been playing this card for a while now, and that's why we have the mana that we have. So that's the main difference. But let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. If you guys have any questions, comment at the bottom. Let me know. At the end of the day, I think the core of the deck is pretty much solid. There's not much you can do about it. No need to get away from the core. It's just the minor flex spots that people play around with. There are certain cards that are better than others to play there, but I think at the end of the day, it's whatever you feel comfortable with, what you enjoy playing. Alright, so this is a good hand. So we got Stomping Ground, and we can grab a... What can we... We need white, but we also need something to cast this. Let's... What are we going to put back? Let's put back... Oof. This hand is so good. Let's put back... Kavu's good. Let's put back Goyf. We're going to do here... We'll determine what we're going to grab once we see what they're playing. Because we can always... We want to be able to cast all our hand, right? But let's see. Okay. Alright, so this has white-green, right? Yep, white-green. We're going to be missing black and blue, which is fine, I guess. We can always grab Steam Vents. That still only gives us 3 colors. Yeah, this is the one that we need. Alright, so we got Wild Nacatl, not bad. So we can leave Bolt up, but I think what we want to do is we definitely want to lead off with our Kavu. Start filtering through our hand. Looks like we're going against Harden scales here. They can get wide and large very fast. Luckily we do have Binding and we do have Bolt here. This Ink Moth can become a problem. Alright, so let's pitch the Wild Nacatl here. Guys, I haven't played Magic in like a week. Feeling a little rusty. Alright, so we can... Okay, we're gonna... whenever counter is put on a permanent you control, you may pay 1 if you do create. Okay, that could be a little annoying. This can also be a problem. So, right now, I mean, the game plan right now, since our creatures are really big, is if we can just slow them down with a Leyline Binding and maybe a Leyline Binding combined with a Bolt, we should be able to close out the game with Bolt in our creatures. Okay, Arcbound Ravager. So they're going to use this for sure. I guess that's fine. Okay. Alright. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to go Bolt something and then... Alright, 3 bolts. Alright, so... Alright. So this... Let's make them react here. We need to be careful here, because as this thing gets counters, they can put it on the Blink Moth, and we currently don't have any way to interact with that other than to try to bolt it in response, but we don't have another red source, so we have to fish with our Kavu. Red is so important to have in these decks, right? Because if we would have had multiple red sources, we could have just probably attacked and then maybe finished them off with bolts. So they're going to make this Arcbound Ravager massive here. Which then we can take with the... Let's attack, let them block, and interact with them that way. Let's go ahead and discard a bolt here. Okay, that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one, ladies and gentlemen. That one can handle the Blink Moth. Alright. Okay. I think we want to binding the Arcbound now, though. We should be able to survive a hit from this. And, you know, I wish we had another red source. If we had another red source, we would be in the clear for sure. But if we can survive this turn, we can then cast Draco and have Bolt up. Alright, we're still in good shape here. They're going to be forced to block. They could just move these counters here. We're going to be able to get Trample and First Strike, which is relevant in combat. Alright, 7/7. That's a problem. Alright. A little too late to the party, my friends. Okay, so what we're going to do... Alright. We can do this. We can attack. And then we can bolt, but then they have a bunch of dudes. Siege Rhino, not a bad one. We do need an additional land. Hopefully they block the Kavu here. Okay, they're not going to block the Kavu. we're not going to bolt here. We don't want them to have a ton of blockers. We could have a line here where we end of turn bolt them, hopefully draw into a land, and then play Siege Rhino. If they have an Arcband Ravager where they can sack this hanger back, that could be a problem. I don't think that's the case though. Alright, so they're going to leave the Blink Moth to block. Okay, not a bad one. I don't think we want... I think we just want to attack with... the Draco. And then if they activate, I think we can just bolt it in response. This is a card that was going to give us an issue further down the line anyway, so getting rid of it now is pretty good for us. Alright. It's a big boy. Oops, wrong card. Alright, so now we have two threats that they have to deal with here. So we should be good. And our life total is very healthy, so we can go ahead and take a damage. I'm still, I'm thinking about sideboarding, and I'm wondering, is Tarmogoyf in this matchup is actually not that bad, because, it's really easy for us to get artifact and creature and enchantment in the yard. And with land, that's an easy 4/5. And then of course we play instants and sorcery, so. But I wonder if I want to have Lightning Helix too. If we're able to slow them down from progressing and getting ahead on the board, it does take them time for their creatures to get big and wide, so we can prolong that. Well, I think we definitely want to bring these in. This is probably good. Let's start off with the Rhinos. The Rhinos can go even though I like them. Stubborn Denial, not the best here. And maybe we just play this. I do like Dromoka's Command though, but we can't continue. We only have 18 creatures right now. Dromoka's Command, I think, is Dromoka's Command, is Helix better than Dromoka's Command? It's definitely a lot easier to cast. Let's play it this way. Let's try this. I think there's an argument for Dromoka's Command or Helix there. Helix can hit a lot of their threats. Dromoka's Command can hit a lot of their Ursa Sagas, and we can trade with one of their creatures or use it as removal. Alright, so planes are always the worst to draw. Alright, this hand is decent. Got a lot of interaction. We're gonna put back this forest here. And depending on what they do is what we're gonna fetch, right? So it's nothing threatening. Alright, so we drew another fetch land, which is good for us. So what I want to do then is I'm going to go ahead and just get a Temple Garden here. reason we're going with Temple Garden is because we can get the Xander land with the Wooded Foothills, and it allows us to leave Tear up. And also we have Leyline Binding up. And then of course a 3/3 Nacatl. You rarely ever want to lead off with Stomping Grounds, because Stomping Ground is the worst shock land in the deck. It's the one that you kind of grab when you need an additional source of red and green, but there's no pairs in the deck that like help you get to 4 other than another Triumph, but you usually want to play a shock land that your Triumph completes all 5. Alright, so this is good. So what do we want to do here? I don't think we... Wow, a 1/5. Let's see. Let's attack. If they block, we will just fetch like a Steam Vents. Alright, so they're not going to block. So if they blocked there, we would have grabbed the Steam Vents and then bolted. Because they didn't, we're not going to do anything. We could ride this Nacatl to victory, but we got to be careful because our Consume All can also clean up our Nacatl. Okay, that's a problem, but I think I know how to deal with it. Alright, so let's see how we want to do this, right? Let's try to destroy this in hopes that... Oh, wait, you know what? Oh, this is enchantment. I messed up. Alright, anyways. That's fine. Let's just do this. And take this. Okay. So that's what we wanted them to do. Alright, so now we have a threat, so Consume All is good here. So now we attack. Totally forgot that where is the red side? I don't know. Anyways, not a big deal. Because we don't want this to die currently. Alright, so let's see. We definitely want to play the Kavu here. The question is, I think we want to leave Bolt up. Yeah, we'll leave Bolt up. In case they play a Ravager or something. Bolt can also go upstairs as well if they don't play anything that we need to get rid of here. Alright, that's kind of a problem for now, but it's dealable. We can deal with it. Oof. I think we're going to go ahead and just do this now. So we can clean basically their whole board up with Consume All if we want, and we can use, we also have the Wear to get rid of this little guy. Let's see what we're gonna do here. So let's go ahead and attack. I'm not gonna discard anything because I like our hand. So, we could take them off Saga. You know, I don't hate that plan, right? Saga's good. Ursa's Saga can be like 2 or 3 cards for them. Well, if we consider their tokens cards, I think that's a decent play. Consume All, just gonna probably rot in the hand here. Let's go ahead and see. Let's just attack. Hopefully we can get some type of removal here. Okay, that's not a bad one. Okay. Not the worst trade here. It's good for us. Opponent has 0 cards, so... and we have a lot of threats I got to deal with. They're definitely on the back foot right now. I personally have never played Harden Scale, so I'm not sure what they could even draw to get out of this. So Consume All, we can play Consume All, I'll take care of both of these, but then they just move everything to the Spellskite. Okay, a Brawler, not bad. I think we're going to just get rid of this Consume All. What we need is some burn spells here. Okay, Tarmogoyf, he has a 5/6. That's a big boy! Yeah, I don't see them being able to get out of this unless they have like a sweeper, and even that, they're still in bad shape, right? Because we can just draw a burn spell and end it. All right, so let's go ahead and just play our boy, the Tarmogoyf. A 6/10 Spellskite. Ain't bad. That's what we would have drawn here. Another Kavu. Alright. Alright, so Harden Scales. So let's talk about the sideboarding there. For sideboarding, we brought in these. I can also see and Consume All. Consume All is one of those cards that, like, as you saw there, at one point it was kind of like our backup plan in case they got out of control. That's why you want it, because they can go very wide very fast. So having a cleanup card like Consume All, I do think you need it in matchups like that. But if you're able to control the board and, you know, play how we were playing, how the game ended up, Consume All just basically does nothing. Then we have Lightning Helix and Wear and Tear. Lightning Helix, I can see an argument for maybe playing Dromoka's command. I like Lightning Helix better here, but, you know, I haven't played this matchup enough to really determine if one is better than the other. So that's what I would bring in against this matchup. Main board, Tarmogoyf is good in that matchup. Siege Rhino could be a little slow, although in our first game, you know, Siege Rhino could have won us the game. You know, just like it does in a lot of games. That's the reason why it's in the deck. Tarmogoyf in that matchup is really good. If we saw there, it was a 5/6. An early Tarmogoyf is also not too bad because, like I mentioned, they have Artifact and Creature, and if you're able to Lightning Helix something or Bolt something, now you have, most likely you're going to have Land, Artifact, creature, instant, and then Urza Saga land, enchantment. So it's going to grow very fast in those matchups. I would say it's a lot better than Brawler, but it also depends, right? If Tarmogoyf is your first threat in hand, then you'd rather have a Brawler. So I think a 2-3 split between Tarmogoyf and Brawler is good. So I'll definitely be testing that out. I still like the Siege Rhinos. We could also trim a Siege Rhino for a third Tarmogoyf here, but I don't know. I'm really liking the Siege Rhino. I really like the idea of having this massive threat later in the game that can just come down and win the game out of nowhere. But yeah, that's just what I've noticed from playing. But yeah, sideboard, that's what I was sideboard. If there's any questions, just comment at the bottom. Any other ideas, comment at the bottom. If I made any mistakes, any misplays, comment at the bottom. Let me know. I love to hear from you guys. It's always very informative. It helps me create better content, and we can all grow together and just be better players while playing Domain Zoo. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button. I post videos every day. And again, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and peace out.